someone I'm always wide awake for, is Van Connor, our film critic. Hi, Van.
Hello, Petrie. I'm wide awake for you as well. You make my day come alive.
Oh, shucks. They make me blush. Right, let's talk about Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, let's definitely talk about this one. I was looking forward to this for a while. I saw the trailer of this a few months ago, and I was all in on this. Very Stephen King-y kind of vibes, and he actually is one of the quotes on the trailer. He and Kevin Smith provide pull quotes for the trailer. So this is set in the late 70s, 1977, follows a late-night TV show host played by sort of horror stalwart kind of nerd pin-up boy David Smolcian in his first sort of like his sort of first big lead role on his own. He is the talk show host, sort of like a wannabe Johnny Carson, who, having seen his career sort of fade into relative obscurity and his show slide down the ratings, decides one fateful Halloween night in 1977 to stage the greatest Halloween special of them all, giving his band like what do they call it? Is it a theremin? The musical instrument that makes it all go woo woo woo. You know, the
theremin.
Moon sounding. Theremin, that's it. I get it confused with Elizabeth Holmes's company. That's what it was. Aramed or whatever it was. Kits it out, gets a couple of sidekicks on, a skeptic, gets a parapsychologist who has a patient who survived a recent massacre in a cult as well. And over the course of one night, we watch the real-time broadcast of this talk show, intercut with behind-the-scenes footage, which is made to look like the 70s, as they literally spend one late night with the devil. Have a clip as to what goes wrong when things start to malfunction, including the theremin.
He kind of wriggles his way inside my head, and then he wriggles his way out.
But with June's help, you are able to control him.
June says that everyone has a demon inside them, but we can't always control them, can we?
Gus. Time is.
I got it, Jack. It's just a matter
God, there's off switch for that thing.
How the hell should I know?
What was happening there?
So that is everything starting to explode and malfunction throughout the studio around them. Light bulbs going off, power sockets detonating, of course, the theremin going nuts all on its own. It's very much, but it's interesting that we have, in the space of a few weeks, in addition to a new Ghostbusters movie, we have Late Night with the Devil, Immaculate, which we talked about last week with Sydney Sweeney. And I think next week is the prequel, The First Omen, as well, which is going to be the prequel to the 70s Omen series. So there's definitely a sort of Satan-y vibe going on at the multiplexes.
Yeah, you can't beat a ghost story, though, can you? I mean, I do remember going to the most haunted house in Germany somewhere with my co-host at the time, Glenn Mansell. He talked me into this because he knows that I hate horror movies, and he took me to this place, and we stayed up all night waiting for these ghosts to appear. Most boring program ever. Nothing happened. I mean, apart from Glenn scaring me about every 5 minutes, but that was him. There was no ghosts. Most haunted place in the country. Nothing. Nada. So I don't think I'd be rushing to make a TV show about ghosts anytime soon.
To be fair, my scariest, most boring night of late, I think, was last year when I had to watch the movie Babylon. But that was 3 hours of my life I'm never getting back.
What about Hate to Love Nickelback? Now, we have a problem in this studio because my engineer here, Sam, he's fuming. He's fuming. Is he team Nickelback or is he anti Nickelback? Yes, he is. And he is livid that he won't get to see this. And he went, do you know why? He said, because the day one that it's on, I'm getting married, and on the second day, it's my honeymoon. So he's furious. He's going to call it all off for the movie. He's going to call off the wedding. You've ruined his wedding.
Postpone it and elope, Sam. Come on.
And you know what? His fiance's not listening.
might actually be worth it because I had a great time with this. First of all, I am Team Nickelback. Like, no shame whatsoever. I am Team Nickelback. And the documentary, so this is a new documentary that it's a sort of biographical one, does give you a profile of the band, but also equally delves into the phenomenon of the Nickelback hate, the anti-Nickelback movement, which really started kind of with Facebook in the late 2000s. As soon as kind of Facebook came in about 2007, 2008, was round about the time that we got, I think it was Silver Side Up. Was it Silver Side Up? I forget. One of the album that had Rockstar on it. And that was about the point that Nickelback, as we are, shown here in this chronicle, became the most hated band in the world, despite also being one of the most successful. And as one of the arguments that's presented to us says, more successful you are, the higher you rise, the more people are desperate to see you fall. And before anyone asks, yes, they do have the Deadpool clip in there. And if you know your Nickelback and you know your Deadpool, you know exactly which clip we're talking about, in which Deadpool venomously defends and goes to bat for Nickelback. Really fun. Have a listen. I've got a clip for you, and we'll see if you can guess exactly which song they're talking about in this clip.
I remember when Chad came to my house and he said, listen, I've got this tune. I'm not so sure, about it, but just play it to you. And he grabbed my acoustic. I heard it, and I'm like, it sounds like a pretty good song. Like, it sounded like I didn't go, oh, smash hit. And I remember my wife was up in the loft of our house there, and she's like, that's a hit. She points down the loft, she goes, that's a hit. And we all got together in a jam spot, and we worked out all the production ideas.
Rolling right now, too? Twice the tape. We got lots of tape.
Sam, do you know what song that is?
This is How You Remind Me.
He was absolutely right. Well done.
Of course, I'm guessing Sam was chomping at the bit as soon as the clip stopped. I know which one he's on about.
He knew straight away. Actually, I was just checking his face. So, why were they so hated?
It is because of, I think that there are elements, we get different arguments and different elements brought into play here. There is the obvious argument that people just don't like a mainstream band beyond a certain point. Right. When you have someone who's positioned within the rock genre but is quite as populist as Nickelback were, they sort of invite hatred. You've also then got the Avril Lavigne of it that gets brought into it as well. Like Chad Kroeger himself makes the argument that, look, when you've got two celebrities that get hitched, you invite double the hate, as we're told at one point.
Human beings are pathetic, aren't they? I mean,
aren't
seriously.
They just? Yeah, there's also just people just like to complain about popular things. Look at Marvel movies. People like to complain about Marvel movies, and Marvel movies, for the most part, are objectively pretty good.
Yeah. Or objectively don't watch them. One or the other, right? And you don't have to.
But do watch this.
Do watch this. But it's only in the cinemas for 2 days, is that right? No.
I think it's the 27th, so it's tomorrow night, and then I think it's the 30th as well. So it's a 2-night event. I know that View and Cineworld are showing. I've got friends, believe me, that have been chomping at the bit to get in and see this. Incidentally, if you've got an unlimited card, this does not count on your unlimited card. This is an event screening, so you have to pay extra. I will say as well, for anyone that is going to see it, stick around after the end credits, because there is an entire concert that they have shoved after the end. Lasts about 25 minutes.
Wow.
There's an entire concert after the end of this. And you do, as I did, because I got to watch this on Link at home. And I watched this first thing in the morning, and I was in a really bad mood. I'm going to confess I was in a really bad mood. And I was singing along, having the time of my life with this. Like, really, I was shocked that I remembered this many Nickelback lyrics. And yes, I even got a snippet of Breathe, which is my absolute favourite Nickelback track.
Oh, well, there you go. You got a fan in there. You'll have to, I don't know what you'll have to do, Sam. You can't give up your wedding for it, though. He said, I want your link. Anyway, Scarlett Johansson is in talks to join a new, oh my Lord, Jurassic World film. How many times can you tell the same story?
I love that you psychologically process that in real time, Petrie. That's my favourite part of that.
Come on.
What, do you know the weird part about this? She was the second choice. The first choice turned it down, and the first choice was Jennifer Lawrence, apparently. Jennifer Lawrence, because I guess she's too busy.
But why?
I guess.
It's going to go straight to Apple or straight... I mean, This is the same story every single time. Man and dinosaurs don't mix. End of.
But they sell. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. Man and dinosaur should not go together, but they do over and over again, and the results are entertaining.
The results are exactly the same every single time. The first one, great, loved it. After that, what's the point?
Well, I mean, we have been told, because this is being directed, I think co-written at least, by Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One and the 2014 Godzilla movie, did The Creator this past year as well. He is actually quite a sharp filmmaker. I interviewed him when he was starting out, actually. He was a very entertaining guy, very cool, actually. Comes from a visual effects background and obviously has an ingrained love of Jurassic Park, as all VFX guys do. There's a rumour that it's called Jurassic City, and they are apparently doing something interesting and unique with the concept, although they do say that every time.
Yeah, so it'll be dinosaurs in a city as opposed to being on an island, and they'll break out of they're in cages.
Well, they're loose in the world now. In the continuity, they're loose.
Yeah,
they are loose in the world now.
So
in the Jurassic Park franchise.
So I'm going to guess it's dinosaurs attacking a city. I don't quote me on this, but I reckon I'm bang on.
Look, if you want to do something really unique, just have the dinosaurs get loose in Doncaster and see if anyone notices the difference.
Van Connor on that note. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Film critic Van Connor there. Stay where you are. We're going through the papers in just a moment with the fabulous Ed Weissman.